Now, hundreds of cows, calves and sheep are being sent to meatworks in an injured, diseased or pregnant state, violating new animal welfare rules and prompting instant fines. Legislation brought in last October allows the Ministry for Primary Industries to fine farmers and transport providers for low-level animal offending rather than having to go through a full prosecution process. Since then, more than 400 offences have been recorded at slaughterhouses. MPI says the fines are working to help bring farmers into line, but animal welfare groups say they don't go far enough. Nita Blake-Persen reports.
Cattle with cancer in their eyes, sheep with ingrown horns digging into their face, cows giving birth in slaughterhouse pens, lameness in animals and mastitis are among the hundreds of offences vets have picked up at meatworks over the past 8 months. The breaches now result in instant $500 fines for farmers and transport providers, which MPI's compliance manager Gary Orr says saves a prosecution process and deals with the issue there and then.
All of these things are either preventable, as in the case with pregnant cows, or treatable, and as such none of those animals should be put on the truck until they're treated, or they can be euthanised on the farm if they're untreatable.
Included in the more than 430 fines handed out since October, 228 were beef cattle offences, 98 for dairy cattle, 35 calves and 57 sheep. Gary Moore says in most cases the animals were suffering during the sometimes long trips to the meatworks.
Don't extend the suffering by putting the animal on a truck and having it travel for extended periods of time. If it's so sick that it should be put down, then you don't do it through the works, you should do it on the farm. If you want to get a return on investment for the animal by selling it for meat, then it should be in good condition when it goes on the truck.
But he says in the scheme of things, the numbers are very small, with nearly 2 million bobby calves alone sent to the works last year. That message is echoed by Federated Farmers spokesman Miles Anderson, who says there may have been hundreds of incidents, but not hundreds of farms involved.
The bulk of the fines have been issued for what's called back rub, which we're working with the transport industry to reduce down to zero. I guess over the last few years the animals have grown and the transport crates have stayed the same size, so it's just around, particularly with cattle, around what MPI classifies as back rub.
But a spokesperson for the animal advocacy group SAFE, MARIANNE MACDONALD, says the welfare breaches are a concerning aspect of farming.
Farmers can end up sending animals to slaughterhouses or being found with those animals in very bad conditions on farms because they sometimes are in a situation where they're finding those animals are not creating profit for them. For instance, cows in the dairy industry, when they stop producing as much milk or they fail to get pregnant, they will then get sent off to the slaughterhouse. I mean, that unfortunately is a part of farming.
And she says an independent animal welfare body is needed to oversee welfare issues like these.
The solution for the problems in the enforcement and regulation of animal welfare is that we need an independent animal welfare body that's got the powers and the funding to be able to effectively monitor and care for animals on farms in New Zealand.
MPI says it expects the number of instant fines for animal welfare breaches to drop as more farmers come into line with the new legislation. For Checkpoint, Nita Blake-Persen.